As a political party, I must give it to them that they try very hard and they use men, material, and all kinds of means to grow. The BJP wants to have one nation, one poll. They must start off with one nation, one day polling. Modi was a master of propaganda. There is nobody matching his propaganda. In fact, I him to Goebbels and what the Nazis would do. Every political party, the fundamental fulcrum and centrality is the family. I think his effort doing two Bharat Jodo Yatra is just commendable. And I personally think Mr. Rahul Gandhi should take up the leader of the party in Parliament in the Lok Sabha and should become the leader.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Statesman Talk with me, Deepthi J. Verma. Today we are being joined by Karti Chidambaram, who's a twice member of Parliament. He's also had a comfortable victory from Shiva Ganga in Tamil Nadu and is the son of ex-Union Minister P Chidambaram. Thank you for joining us, Karti.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, to start with, you've studied business. You went to business school in America and you went to law school at the Cambridge. Why did you decide to join politics?
So I'm always interested in politics throughout my life, and I grew up in a house where my father was in politics well before I was born. So he was in Youth Congress a few years even before I was born. So I grew up in a political environment, and in that environment you sort of see politics up close ever so often, and so that sort of had an impact on me. So I've always wanted to be in politics. It's not a late realization or something. And I've worked with my father closely in his elections, particularly since I came back from England in 95, 96. And 96 was actually a very exciting year. That's the year we broke away in Tamil Nadu to form a regional outfit of the Congress called the TMC. It was very exciting times. And I was about 25 and was very much in the thick of things. Mr. Moopanar headed it. So that was my first initiation. I mean, even though I'd participated in political meetings and I'd visited political meetings before. In fact, the first time I ever spoke on stage was in 1977 when I was 6 years old. So politics has always been
a political stage?
On a political stage. My father contested an assembly election in 1977 from Karaikudi. He actually lost by 240 votes. And as a kid, I was part of that campaign. And my maternal grandmother was a poet, and she wrote a small, I think a 2-line poem which I went and recited on stage or something. At that time, the Congress symbol was the cow and calf.
Okay.
So I've been around politics always. I've always been interested in politics. So it's only, I'm not surprised that I got into electoral politics. And I've worked in every election since 96, either as a campaigner, either as an agent, not only for my father, but for anybody else who contested from our district, for the assembly, for the local body. So in fact, this is my 13th election where I've been very actively involved, and I've contested 3 elections myself.
Yeah. You lost one.
The first election in 2014, I lost, but in 19 and 24, I've been elected from Shiva Ganga.
And coming to your current victory in Shiva Ganga, what's your reading of the BJP's? People say, there are statistics that the vote share of BJP has gone up in Tamil Nadu. Do you agree with it?
It's a completely misreading of the data, because the BJP contested very fewer seats in 2019 compared to 2024. In 2019, they were part of the ADMK alliance and they contested fewer seats. So, and now they've contested greater number of seats. I think they contested close to, more than 25 seats or something like that. And secondly, this time they've had alliances with many community and caste outfits. And these caste outfits and community outfits have contested on their symbol. So these candidates are all not pure.
So these are not votes for BJP?
No, they are not votes for BJP per se. They are votes for these caste and community parties and their candidates. For example, in my own constituency, while there was a contestant in the BJP symbol, he is not a member of the BJP. He runs his own caste community party and he contested himself. So there was a consolidation of that caste community behind him because he was the candidate. So this is not a pure BJP vote. It will be a complete misreading of the data and think that the BJP's vote share has gone. Yes, the BJP's vote share would have gone up marginally, but not as much as it's being portrayed with their vote share, which is being published at the moment.
And they managed to open their account in Kerala, and they're saying that at least that's what the narrative is, that their vote share is going up in the entire southern part of India. Do you think it's a cause of concern for Congress?
No, as a political party, I must give it to them that they try very hard and they use men, material, and all kinds of means to grow. I mean, I would never fault them for effort, even though however misguided their agenda is, that I can never fault them for their effort. In Kerala, the candidate who won is Suresh Gopi. He's a very popular film actor. There was also a personality vote for him in that place. And he was a losing candidate, I think, in 2019, and he sort of camped there for 5 years. And there was a personality voter. I mean, I'm sure the vote share of the BJP has gone up. I'm not denying that. And it has possibly gone up in Tamil Nadu too, but it's not to the extent in which it's being portrayed. I would say they would be touching just about double-digit figures.
Do you think they should have gone ahead with an alliance with the AIDMK?
No, I'm not their consultant.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not their well-wisher, and neither am I their consultant. So I mean, I'm not here to give them advice. But I think the BJP, would have had a slightly different electoral results had they been a little bit more temperate and a little bit more congenial in their approach. But they seem to have bet on a very vociferous, aggressive person who was leading them in Tamil Nadu. And they seem to have had some misplaced trust in that person.
Annamalai.
Who I think has led them down the garden path.
What do you think is the reason for his personality cult, and why do you think he's the wrong fit?
I think if you give me those kind of resources, where I could work the media nationally, take me on a boat ride in Varanasi, have a big IT team working with me all the time to keep boosting my thing, you will naturally build up the chatter in social media. But the results have proven that it's a very hollow foundation.
And coming back to the national results, the Congress is all still saying that morally Narendra Modi has lost his right to govern the country. The numbers were still on their side, even though they didn't do that well. What do you have to say about that?
I think the national verdict has to be read very carefully. There are many messages coming out of the national verdict. Because of this protracted electoral cycle, I think this has been a series of zonal elections. And each zone, each state has given out a specific...
Do you think the elections were too long?
I think so. I think, I mean, as a country, we could definitely have a much more truncated electoral process, and with technology and the bureaucracy and the infrastructure we have, I really think that, and especially if the BJP wants to have one nation, one poll, they must start off with one nation, one day polling before they talk about anything.
You think it's a possibility?
I think absolutely it's a possibility. I think the Election Commission must seriously consider one day, because that would really make it a national election where the whole country votes on one day. For example, now my election in Savaganga took place on April 19th and the results were on June 4th. I mean, it was 45-day lag, and in the interim, the narrative, the issues, the commentary, the chatter, the noise, all got...
It changes every
week. So people were voting differently perhaps for different reasons too. So I think we should have a one-day polling, and it's possible. I'm sure we have the security apparatus to do it. I mean, as a nation, we guard our nation on a daily basis. I'm sure we can guard the nation on that day too. I mean, I'm sure with deft planning, with all the paramilitary forces. And there are many parts of India which really don't require such a huge security apparatus. There are maybe some parts which require this kind of a significant security cover, but most parts don't. For example, in Tamil Nadu, it's very peaceful. You could, and it's not as if regional police forces are moving from state to state. It's only the paramilitary which is there, and we have adequate paramilitary. I mean, as a nation, aren't we ready for a nationwide? If suppose a nationwide attack happens, aren't we ready to repel it? I mean, I'm sure we can have a one-day very peaceful polling. I think the Election Commission owes it to the country to have one-day polling.
And the Congress's performance, what do you have to say about that?
I think it's been a huge boost for us.
Really?
It's been, considering...
They've still not hit the 100 mark.
I think we took a cheeky single the next morning.
Yeah.
I mean, we were overnight we were 99 not out, and in the morning we came and took a cheeky single. I think we are 100 right now, and the numbers might swell, because I know how independents who are not perhaps accommodated by for the ruling party might gravitate towards us. That's the nature of politics. You see, in 2014, and in 2019, collectively we didn't even win what we won now. So it's a huge improvement. I mean, is it enough? No, it's not enough. But is it something which is giving us something to cheer about? Absolutely, it's giving us to cheer about. There are pockets of cheer as well as there are pockets of concern. I must admit that from Gujarat to Orissa, in that corridor from east to west or west to east, however you might see it, there is concern. I mean, in Gujarat, in Chhattisgarh, in Madhya Pradesh, in Orissa, there is concern. But there's a lot to cheer because of our tactical alliances and because of our individual performance. For example, Punjab was a singularly stellar performance. Kerala was a singularly stellar performance. Of course, tactical alliances in Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh has worked well. Alliances in Maharashtra worked well. The alliance in Bihar surprisingly didn't work well. So, and in the Northeast, where people sort of wrote us off, we seem to have had success in pockets. You know, the Northeast is not noticed very much, but we've had success in the Northeast as well.
And what's your reading of Rahul Gandhi's performance? You think he was instrumental?
I think his effort of doing two Bharat Jodo Yatras, one south to north, is commendable. I think it takes tremendous physical energy to do it, and also great will to set aside 6 months of your life to do this on a daily basis is not easy. I think that earned him respect. I mean, those who are not necessarily his fans grudgingly had to respect him for the effort he put in, and it definitely and the route he took. In that route, definitely the organization had a lot to cheer about. I mean, I would not say that I wouldn't directly put a correlation to electoral victory there, but the fact that the organization itself had something to cheer
morale
and show, morale boost, it definitely was. I mean, see, I always believe that leadership needs to go to the doorstep and not be at the mountain. And this Bharat Jodo Yatra was taking the leadership to the doorstep. That's the nature of politics today, and that's why regional parties do better than national parties, because they take leadership to the doorstep. So this effort to take leadership of the Congress leadership to the doorstep, in my opinion, had a very, very big role in our electoral success.
You think he'll be the leader of the opposition?
He should be, because you see, whether whatever might be the chatter in social media and in circles outside the political firmament, within the Congress party, the Gandhi family has a very, very special place.
Are you close to him?
I mean, we were in Cambridge together.
Oh,
I mean, when I was in Cambridge, he had come to do a one-year course when I was studying law. So I know him from 93, 94. So I've known him for more than 30 years now. But the Gandhi family has a special place in the Congress. In the Congress, they are the glue. I mean,
they bind it together.
They definitely bind it together, and that's not necessarily true only for the Congress party. It's true for pretty much every political
party. The India bloc also?
No, it's true for every political party.
Every political party.
Except barring the BJP and the Communist Party, every political party in India, right from the National Conference in the northern part of Kashmir to the DMK in the south of it, every political party, the fundamental fulcrum and centrality is a family. That is the social reality of Indian politics. And parties which don't have a centrality of family find it very difficult to survive. Now, in fact, it will be very interesting to see what happens to the BJD in Orissa, because there is no family after Mr. Naveen Patnaik. We have to see how that party survives. And look at the case of the ADMK. Because it does not have a centrality of a family, it has struggled after Jayalalitha. Whereas every other political party, somehow the fact that there is a primary family, which was the founding family, somehow glues it together. Because ideology is a part, but still the social tie with the founding family is very strong. And that's the reality of Indian. I'm not defending it. I'm only rationalizing the reason. And I think parties which do not have a centrality of a family find it very difficult to survive. And I think even
but the BJP is flourishing.
BJP is different because they have other social reasons why they survive. Look at Mr. Nitish Kumar. I've just read that there has been a very silent entry of his son into the party as well, because otherwise his party will go into crisis after him. Look at any other political party. So that's the social reality of India. So it's not something unique to the Congress party, even though we get unfairly
for nepotism,
tainted on that all. Even look at the alliance partners of the BJP. What is Mr. Paswan's party? It's his son now.
Yeah.
it's all centralities around family. So that's the social reality. It might change in 50 years. These the influence of families might wane.
Yeah.
But right now it's there, and the Congress is no different, and the Gandhis play a very important role. And I personally think, especially after this time and our performance and improvement, Mr. Rahul Gandhi should take up the leader of the party in Parliament in the Lok Sabha and should become the leader of the opposition.
Karti, speaking of Rahul, a few months ago you got some show cause notice because you had compared him to Narendra Modi, and the Tamil Nadu Congress wasn't happy about it. What was that comment, and do you still stand by it?
I didn't get a show cause notice.
Okay.
I think it's again another
It was just in the news.
Delhi media creation.
Okay.
I never got a show cause notice.
Okay.
There was no show cause notice issued to me. And what I said was in Tamil. And
So it was lost in
it
translation.
was completely lost in translation. I think whoever was putting out the news in Delhi needs to hire people who are fluent and who are proficient in Tamil. What I said was that Modi was a master of propaganda. And there is nobody matching his propaganda. In fact, I compared him to Goebbels and what the Nazis would do. So it's completely lost in translation. And I still think that Modi and the BJP have a very large and a vast propaganda machinery, but large parts of India have seen through that propaganda. So there was no show cause notice, there was no controversy.
Okay.
It was not even a storm in the teacup, and it was the usual the whispers in the corridor created a little brouhaha.
And what's your reading of the NDA alliance right now? You've been close to the TDP, the top leaders of the TDP. Do you think it's a chemistry that will work?
You see, the numbers are what they are. And the BJP now has to live with an NDA formation. Both Mr. Nitish Kumar and Mr. Chandrababu Naidu have had relationships with the NDA. They have also had relationships with the erstwhile UPA. They've had relationships with the erstwhile UF, United Front of 96. Oh. So they are very seasoned politicians who have seen many formations in India, who have been part of many formations, who have left formations for various reasons and various points of time, and they can't be taken for granted. So, and they've also, both of them have suffered from Operation Lotus carried out by the BJP on them, because the BJP is prone to carrying out Operation Lotus on friends and foe alike. Anybody who's been on the table with the BJP eventually has had to face the Operation Lotus. The entire TDP's Rajya Sabha team was subsumed by the BJP a few years ago. And even the JDU, there was a fear that there were a lot of members who were being wooed by the BJP. So they are very. I don't need to recollect the memory of both Mr. Naidu and Mr. Nitish Kumar about their past experiences, and both have had good and bad experiences with this same formation. Whether the BJP will, the leadership of the BJP, which is basically a 1.5-man leadership of the BJP, will.
Why do you say that?
The BJP is such a centralized leader. The BJP is not a collective anymore. The BJP under Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Advani was a collective. The parliamentary board of the BJP was supreme. Decisions were taken at the parliamentary board. I mean, anybody who understands and follows the BJP, and I have friends within the BJP as well, knows that the style and tenor of the BJP has completely changed.
But do you think that change has worked in their favor?
No, or it always works when you're winning.
When
you stop winning, then there'll be murmurs,
Yeah.
That's the nature of life, you know. But the style of Mr. Vajpayee and Advani, who were there for almost, for 3 decades, who were the fulcrum of the party, was very different. They had a parliamentary board. The parliamentary board was the centrality of the BJP's decision making, and now everybody knows that that's only a rubber stamp, institution, and even the cabinet is only a rubber stamp institution. I mean, demonetization was done without the finance minister of the day knowing anything about it. The farm laws were withdrawn without the agriculture minister of the day knowing about it. So it's really not the BJP of the past. So this current BJP is a 1.5-man BJP.
And do you think this 1.5-man that you're talking about will be strong enough for the next term?
I can't predict that. You see,
they're also
seasoned politicians. They might not have had experience in this situation before, but they can adapt. I mean, situations create people. People adapt to situations. So it's like cricket, you know, when you need to slog, you slog. When you need to take singles, you take singles. So I would not discount their political acumen in adapting to a situation. They're very, I'm sure they're capable of it. Whether they will be fully capable, whether they will still, and because of their experiences with these two key allies in the past, whether those two allies will also feel comfortable, only time will tell. I can't really say. Yes, at the moment there is a formation and they've come to some sort of an understanding. Whether this understanding will last forever, whether it will be an uneasy understanding, whether there'll be give and take, or whether they will go back to their old ways of taking decisions by diktat, that all remains to be seen. Anything can happen, and things might not happen. Things might work smoothly. I don't know, but that's really up to them. We have really no role to play in that.
And the India bloc has come out with a statement that they'll wait and watch. So what do you think the Congress's role would be?
I mean, in all fairness, while they've given us enough numbers, they've not given us enough numbers to form government. And that is the mandate. And there is a pre-election bloc which has got more than 272. It's not as if this is a post-election bloc.
Yes,
this is a pre-election. And we must respect that. And what is the mandate? The mandate is the people of India wanted a consensual collective government, and that is what they've said. They, at the same time, they also want a significant opposition, and that's the mandate, and we have to respect that mandate. But if that consensus collapses, then alternatives can be examined. Right now, I don't think the time is there to examine.
What is the future of Congress for the next 5 years?
The future is, see, the fact is that the Congress is able to revive itself after crisis is definitely a fact one must accept. And the Congress is capable of doing that. And this is proven that we are capable of reviving ourselves. Yes, we need to have tactical relationships. We need to have sharper campaigns. All that is paying off. And there will be some state elections which will be coming up. And my belief is the upcoming state elections are going to be good for us. I think Haryana, Jharkhand and Maharashtra will be good elections for us. And I am very confident that we will win all three. Our formation will win all three. Haryana on our own, Jharkhand with the JMM, and with the alliance which we have with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray's party and Mr. Sharad Pawar's party, I think we will win Maharashtra as well. That is my firm belief. And then, so winning the states is very, very important. And also, I think we need to have a more middle-class urban push as well. That's because we seem to be lacking in this aspirational class of people in the urban India. Areas. I mean, in urban areas, for example, in Chennai, we won all seats, but in Bangalore, we did not win a single seat. So when in Hyderabad it's been a mixed bag, in Bombay it's been a mixed bag, in Calcutta it's the TMC.
Delhi also.
Delhi websites. I think it's consciously the aspirational class in urban areas, and India is urbanizing fast. While we seem to have a good connect in the rural areas, I think we need to focus on the urban areas a little bit more.
Okay, and coming back to your business part of your personality. I was going through your timeline, and you were one of the first people to flag off the Byju's business model. What was wrong with it, according to you?
See, I think Byju's is a victim of the toxic culture which the VCs inject into a company. I think Byju Ravindran by himself was a good entrepreneur who had a good idea, and he himself apparently was a very good math and physics teacher when he started off. But I think the culture which when venture capital sort of inject into a company, who are obsessed with growth without focusing on quality of delivery, led to this kind of a downfall. And I think I know when we are celebrating entrepreneurship in India, and my only advice to young entrepreneurs is be very wary of these venture capitals. They will not stand with you when there is a crisis. They will abandon you. They are all buccaneers. They will come in, they will invest, and things are going good there with you, and they are completely obsessed with valuation and not with the quality of delivery. And that really you need to focus on companies which will survive, or companies which focus on the customer's delight and who are focusing on delivery of their services. And that's really where the focus should be. And the venture capitalists don't really care about that. So be very wary on from whom you take money, what does that investor require. And at the end of the day, live up to your passion. Your passion was to start a business which will deliver a service or a product. Focus on that, and then eventually you will succeed.
Do you invest in startups?
Yes, I do invest in startups. I have had successes.
According to Reddit, you're a billionaire. So
I am a billionaire many times over. Yeah. According to the internet, there was even a news item which said I had some 6 lakh crores or something like that. I mean, if 6 lakh crores in their days would have
spending it on in politics.
It would have been just slightly below Jeff Bezos or something, or maybe Elon Musk or something. It would put me right up there. I mean, I can live with that.
What's your interest when you invest? Technology?
I think the investments are basically you have to look at the entrepreneur's passion. I think that's the first step, because one doesn't necessarily.
You're investing in people and not the.
Yeah, eventually it is that, because one really doesn't understand technology. I mean, especially if you are 45 plus, I think our ability to understand technology also diminishes. I think what are 25-year-olds' understanding of technology?
It comes naturally to them.
Yeah, so I think you should invest on people. You should look at passionate individuals who want to do everything to make that succeed. But as I told you, but the important thing is to see whether they're passionate to make that service succeed, as opposed to just saying, I want to be a paper billionaire. A lot of them are only paper billionaires. They're not really billionaires in the real sense. It's only valuations. So even Byju's at one point of time was valued at $22 billion. It's ridiculous. There are brick and mortar companies which have been there for 100 years, which actually create real jobs and real infrastructure, are not valued at that. And we should get away from this kind of artificial valuation, number game, and we should really focus on revenue and actual delivery of services.
And what's your reading of the markets now? They dipped and they bounced back.
They have their own, wisdom, and they will find their own levels. But it is definitely need to look at what happened on the third and the fourth. I think that needs.
You think it was manipulated?
I think so. I think the fact that these exit polls were given a few days before, and all these exit polls seem to have had a similar echo, and then the markets went up and the markets collapsed. So I think it's necessary to look into it and see whether there was any kind of profiteering from that. I think the Congress party has asked for it. Even I have written it. I think we should have an investigation to that. But the markets are the markets. I mean, it's not the only market. There are many other markets in India. It's not the stock market alone. And to measure the success or failure of India merely on the stock market would be an erroneous.
What do you mean by that?
No, everybody is not in the stock market. The stock market is about valuation. We really need to see whether there is prosperity at every level of society. Is there cash flow at every level of society? Are small businesses thriving? Are people investing in small businesses? Do small businesses have enough cash flow? So there are lots of other things. But there's a lot of rural distress. There's also, the biggest concern I have is that we are, because of the proliferation of educational institutions, there are many parts of India where many people are becoming college educated, but they're not necessarily qualified to do anything, because that college education does not lead them to a job, and that's leading to a lot of frustration. We really need to focus on skilling India for jobs.
Did that come in the new education policy?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
if you look at even IIT's placement records are going down. I think that's a concern, that we as a country are educating people. More people are getting educated, but those educated people's aspirations and requirements to do for jobs is not getting translated into reality. And I think that's a concern, and that is a big concern for me. Are we creating jobs for the young people who are quote unquote getting educated? And is the efficacy of the degrees which we are giving, is it actually fulfilling the need of the market? Because I know there is a proliferation of engineering colleges all over India. But are these engineers really engineers? I mean, are we just giving them paper degrees, or are we really giving them a technical qualification to be engineers? Is something which worries me.
Okay, my last question to you would be your own political ambition. Your father was a very, very successful politician. What is your personal political ambition?
I really want to be in state politics. I want to.
You wouldn't want a union ministry?
If the opportunities come, I'll take that opportunities. I'm not saying no to anything. The opportunity is not there. But my real focus is to make the Congress party a viable political party in Tamil Nadu. At one point of time, bring the Congress party to government in Tamil Nadu. The last time the Congress party was in government in Tamil Nadu was 1967, 4 years before I was born. So there's a whole generation, or maybe 2 generations of people who have never seen a Congress government. And my personal political ambition would be to see the Congress party come to government, either singularly or as a first step as part of a coalition. And that is my real ambition. And I also believe that state governments are closer to the people, and delivery of services is easier, and
answerability is also.
And I would like that opportunity, but let's see what happens, how the political thing. I don't know. I mean, I've gone through many ups and downs, and even this. who would have expected me to be here for the second time in Parliament, a comfortable victory, and who would have expected for me to have a career concurrent with my father. Most people, quote unquote, as they call us, nepo kids or dynasts, normally it's only
take
after,
off from where
But
the parents leave.
I've been one of the very few fortunate ones, even though I've gone through lots of trials and tribulations. I'm having a political career concurrently with my father. My father is also in Parliament. I'm also in Parliament. So, I mean, the chips have have obviously fallen my way.
All right. Thank you, Karti. Thank you for joining us today. If you liked the episode, don't forget to share it and also like, share, and subscribe to all our socials. They are listed below.